Welcome to my series of 3 houses videos where I'll be covering each route in a video. This route, Black Eagles, Crimson Flowers. Now, before I get into this, I'll be talking about chapters 11 and onwards. This applies for all the routes because everything else is identical. Now, let me explain a couple things first and foremost. I'll be covering the pre-time skip for all 3 routes in one video from the prologue to chapter 11. Second, you can watch the videos in any order because there's no route intertwining and the routes are different, except for 2, which I'll get to later. Now, let's begin. So, Black Eagles is the route today. There are 3 things I'll be grading in each chapter: the story, mission map, difficulty, and gameplay in the specific chapter. Now, let's start chapter 11, the Holy Temple mission. Now, the story at this point, you have the ability to unlock the Empire route / Crimson Flower from a cutscene during the Explorer. It takes some time in the calendar. The cutscene showcases the coronation of Edelgard, now dubbed Her Majesty. Her Highness is no more. You turn Super Saiyan and are taken to the Holy Mausoleum, where Edelgard reveals herself to be the Flame Emperor and was robbing the church's stones.
Destroy these villainous—
Wait, what's the meaning of this?
You made use of us? I'm sorry, my—
Moving to the map difficulty, this is the point where you should have your units in advanced classes. Now you should have Wyverns, Paladins, so this map is somewhat difficult, but you don't need to worry that much. The demonic beasts in the middle of the map are the only main threat, and some mages here and there that do some damage. Edelgard herself has a gambit that can hit multiple units at once. It's a bit dangerous, but once you take care of her, the choice appears. You have the choice to fight for the church or fight for the empire. You read the title. You already know what we're choosing.
You. How dare you?
My teacher, thank you. But are you certain that— No. Now isn't the time for discussion.
Words cannot properly express my gratitude, Professor.
You lose Flame, but fortunately we don't lose Edelgard and Hubert, because if you pick against her, you lose Edelgard and Hubert, but you have the rest of your team, or the rest of the Black Eagles, staying with you. What did I think of chapter 11? It was pretty good. Red goes off on your ass, calling you a failure, and you get a whole new story because the other routes are the same in chapter 12. This map is tedious, while trying to beat it because the demonic beast can do some damage and the room is limited in some ways. Overall, it's a good chapter in Black Eagles. Now, moving on to chapter 12, we get straight into the battle in Black Eagles. I'm sure you can explore the little area, but it ain't much. Can't do certifications or even rest. This map is quite something though, whether you play either side. Don't go in the middle like I did, because reinforcements are jumping. Regardless, your main enemies are Flame, Gilbert, Rhea, Catherine, and Serial. The last 3 don't come in until you reach the bridge. Catherine is easy to deal with. Serial's fast, but he's not impossible to deal with. Rhea on the other hand has Bandage, meaning if the user has less than 50% HP, they attack first, no matter how low the attack speed is, whatever. On top of that, Rhea critted my units way too frequently, so it was bad.
You. How dare you betray me? You worthless piece of garbage. I will punish you myself. You will not be for—
Professor, take cover!
Professor!
Anyways, once we got take care of her, we jumped straight to the Great Bridge of Myrrdin. Where's the reunion, you might be asking? It's just as half-assed as this route. All you'll get is a JPEG where she hugs your character and says how lonely it's been without you, and that's pretty much it in terms of the reunion. Moving along to the Great Bridge of Myrrdin, our objective is to kill Judith, which you can do in one turn by the way if you have Warp, Stride, Dance of the Goddess. This map is a cakewalk, because you barely get any time to prepare yourself for anything and immediately start catching bodies in the first map. I did this map the boring way, playing it safe, waiting for other units to approach so I killed them, and that's that. My only issue was Ignatz having a brave bow, which was scary for my team players Edelgard and Pedra, since they're both flyers, but since how busted 3 houses is, you can just simply dismount and you'll be fine. But either way, Ignatz can double us whether we're faster than him, and he can quad us whether he's faster than us. So on enemy phase, he's a lot stronger, but on player phase, he's not that bad, depending on who you use him against. I recommend you use Wind Sweep or Encloser to fight him off. There's also the fact that Judith will retreat after a certain amount of turns, which can be bad, but unfortunately, she has to deal with flyers. Edelgard and Petra were hunting her ass down, and even though she was very close to escaping, we still got the jump on her and killed her. Moving along to chapter 14, the map includes Claude, Hilda, Lysithea, and some generals you can kill to prevent reinforcements. In the dare, a bunch of wyverns that spawn in, and bow knights that can spawn in from the bottom left corner of the map. Trail leading into the city, you can prevent some reinforcements by killing the generals and all Myrrdins, which are pretty easy to deal with. The dare is a cakewalk, as all I had to do was lure him in and boom, that's it. For Claude, most of my units couldn't simply chip him. He was flyer nullification, meaning you can't use grounder or bows to simply take care of him that easy. I get him with Byleth so you can spare him or kill him. Don't worry, Golden Deer fans, I respect your house leader. Now the reason why Hilda is in map, because you can recruit her for Crimson Flower unfortunately, but you can recruit her for the Church Route and Blue Lines. But she had Freikugel, the relic weapon her respective house has, so she has great strength. I believe she had Death Blow, or I'm not entirely sure, but she was stupid strong on enemy phase. So you had to kill her in player phase. I don't think she has any ranged counters, so you'll be able to chip her down with the bow. But I believe Petra just killed her just fine, so there's no big deal about that. The reinforcements as well, they kept pulling up on us, but fortunately I already had Bernie as a bone knight. So all I had to do was just wait for them to approach Bernie, heal Bernie with Mercy, and we'll just be fine dealing with the all Myrrdins. Claude lives to stop by and say hello and goodbye. After Hubert gives us the post-game interview, we immediately move on to the next chapter. Chapter 14 was pretty good, so has his route with Deirdre only being playable in timeskip in 2 routes. So this map is a really good one, narratively so far. And your team is standing on business in this story, so the Kingdom Army, be ready, alright? Our next target would be the Kingdom Army or Arianrhod, but unfortunately, we are being invaded by the church members. Now, on to chapter 15, defending Garreg Mach. In other routes, you're defending against the Empire, where this time the church is trying to take back the monastery. In this route, Rhea is a lot more merciless and ruthless in this route, claiming that the professor cannot be forgiven, and someone mentions this. The church wants you to follow the way of the goddess, but if you defy them, they view you unjustly, specifically Rhea. Seth, however, brings up this.
The same one who saved my life.
That is true. Though I find forgiveness difficult, we do owe that wayward soul a debt. However, the fact remains that because of the Professor, Rhea has long been tormented. To think that the vessel of...
That is interesting, considering he's one of the 4 saints, Saint Keyhole. Even the cutscene leading to before this fight, he shows gratitude to your character for saving Flame over 5 years ago. Even if he betrayed the church, he is still grateful for what your character did. Despite that, he must listen to Rhea's orders, and he knows Byleth must be killed or sacrificed for Rhea's mommy issues. Yeah, she's always talking about mother, and she mentions her mother often throughout the story, especially in this route. Moving into the map, there's the objective of defeating Seth. In your way, there are a bunch of wyverns, mages, archers, Pegasus Knights, Flame, Alois. That's your main enemies to expect. I started in by going for Alois and Flame so I could prevent reinforcements. Unfortunately, I put Casper in the middle like a dumbass, so they end up spawning anyway. Alois can shoot from far away, so I had to be careful with my 2 wyverns, Edelgard and Petra. Flame can also kill for some apparent reason. Regardless, I kill her, with Seth giving a heartbreaking line.
Father, please forgive me. I am returning to Mother now, before you do.
Flame! Please, no! No!
Kudos to Mark Whitten for the voice of Seth, delivering a great performance in all of his routes. Also something I noticed post-production, I was looking through YouTube videos of what would happen if you spare Flame, and she still calls Seth by her brother instead of her father when she dies. And she will do anything to keep her secret. And when you spare her, she goes into hiding, and you have the option to spare Seth as well. But I killed them both, sadly, because Byleth is for some reason not that powerful. I mean, that's on me, because I didn't really make him that strong in the early time skip. I killed them both now, which I kind of regret writing this script now. Rhea goes batshit crazy when she finds out you killed them both in battle.
Flame. First my mother, and now those 2 have been stolen away as well? Must you take everything from me?
Lady Rhea.
No amount of repentance will bring your wretched soul salvation. You will be chained to the Valley of Torment, eternally walk the desert until the skin rots from your bones.
This is the same woman who killed your mother just before you to live exchanging hearts. It still doesn't excuse the whole silent protagonist bullshit though, so I don't really care. Also, one last thing, why does Randolph die? I get he's supposed to be killed in the other routes. He is a general now defending the monastery, you know, but in all routes he dies in this very mission no matter what route you play. I kind of want to see him succeed in this route. Now this route is going to be a pretty good pace. Capture the alliance, defend the monastery. Now it's time to go to the kingdom, but we must head to Arianrhod, first known as the Silver Maiden. How much has lasted over the years so far? This route has been pretty good still. Now on to chapter 16. We go to Arianrhod to claim more kingdom territory. Cornelia is our target. We have 3 units on the east gate to sneak in and infiltrate. Cornelia has Titaness, which aren't too much of a struggle. The units we must kill: Felix, Ingrid, Rodrigue, Gwendol, and Cornelia. Rodrigue is a threat though, so I bait with Petra, but my original intention was to braid him with Mercy using Impregnable Wall. It still worked, however, but we killed Rodrigue. Felix, on the other hand, has Aegis and Pavis, meaning attacks you do to him can be halved. He's dead. Now, Gwendol, it's a cakewalk. Using Edelgard, I kill him till Ingrid isn't a threat when she is gone. I end up using Bernie to take care of a good deal of the mages and use her to finish off Cornelia. Clearing the map, Arndal is pissed off that Cornelia is dead. Since she is part of those who slither in the dark, they are the Agarthans for short, he questions us if it was our intention to Cornelia. I claim it was yes, while Edelgard says to say, don't joke like that, even though she liked that choice I made though. Anyway, Arndal basically nukes Arianrhod, making our mission now just pointless, killing soldiers as well. We are forced to act now to the kingdom, as we must take the Agarthans right after. Now on to chapter 17 and the final month you can spend in the monastery. Rhea is furious that the professor is still alive and tells Dimitri Byleth is mine to kill. Even Dimitri questions Rhea and her hatred towards Byleth. Not knowing of her mommy issues, Dimitri insists that the kingdom army should fight the empire in the Tailtean plains. Now, this map isn't really that bad. Aside from the fact that enemy units can turn into demonic beasts, Rhea pulls up on your army in the side of the map where Sylvain is. Sylvain has Death Blow, meaning that you should not find him on enemy phase. Rhea likely has Vantage, so I have to risk one-shotting her, otherwise I could lose the map. Luckily, this is an Iron Man. I take care of Rhea and defeat Sylvain. What is up next is not an easy tag, but certainly not impossible. Challenging Dimitri wasn't that bad. All I had to use was a gambit, some magic, and we should be fine. However, he does have counterattacks, so I should be wary of that. Fortunately, my units were able to take care of him just fine. His death scene was really bad. Not as in like sad, it was sad, but I want to say it was not handled well for an Empire route. It feels like there was no budget poured into this, so his death is just bad. It's not no pre-rendered cutscene, in-game cutscene, nothing like that. Just a JPEG. If you kill the dude before he turns into a beast, there will be a nice cutscene where this cutscene is a lot better. It shows that the dude is grateful for Dimitri saving his life back in the tragedy of Duskur, and it's a really emotional scene, but it's just a black screen, so it just kind of cancels out and just throws the emotional stuff out the window. But yeah, the chapter kind of sucked. In the post-game interview, I wish there would have been some more effort put into this route, like some pre-rendered cutscenes at least. There's only one pre-rendered cutscene, and that's the ending for this route. So all you get is a JPEG and a black screen for Dimitri and the dude's death, or Dimitri's death alone. So all you get is Edelgard telling Dimitri to calm down and set him free from hatred, pretty much. Now, the final map is upon us. Ferdinand is an interesting one. Before I like to get to that, I would mention that Rhea's true colors are revealed. She is merciless, ruthless, and will do whatever it takes to kill Byleth and get her mother back. She sets fire to the city, preventing citizens from escaping, ordering Catherine to do so. But even Catherine is starting to question Rhea and whether what she is doing is the right thing. She remains loyal to her to the end. However, final battle begins. Okay, here we go. First and foremost, let's talk about Rhea herself, the Immaculate One. Taking up 9 fully armored tiles of space, 4 bars of health, next to her Serial, with Death Blow, a Brave Axe, High Strength on top of that. Ash with Close Counter, a Brave Bow, Gilbert with Armored Immunity, meaning I just can't use a Mace or Armor Slayer to easily kill him. We start the map and are immediately in trouble. Rhea has the ability to buff the golems with her roar, meaning the golems get stronger over time, just having light spears and a high crit rate, which were a threat to my team. Taking care of them means the thing. Next, I want to take care of Ash and Givermords. Reinforcements pull up on us. Some of my team isn't the strongest defensively, especially Hubert is underleveled since I benched him. Happy lacks physical defense severely, Mercy as well. Dorothea is my dancer, so she must stay alive. Casper can't do much, but he has high crit, so it's a risky play to use him on any of these units, but the reward is high. I mentioned that this isn't an Iron Man. For those who don't know, an Iron Man is basically playing on classic mode, but there are no reset, meaning that if a unit dies, that unit is gone for good. No running it back or resetting the game. In this case, if Violet dies, that's game over. That had to restart the run. I made the choice to sacrifice Hubert for the greater good. Down goes Hubert. Now, I make it out alive with the rest of my units. We reach Rhea, and I'm a little low on gambits, and I take a risk for it, and they hit her. Now, since Rhea is concentrated on a specific target, there is hope. Now that that's all out of the way, we are down to the last health bar. I must win the map in this turn. Happy goes in with a final gambit, 4 HP. It's a hit. Mercy uses drawback to allow the other units to hit that broken tile. Petra goes in for the kill, 100% hit rate. Rhea 41% hit rate, no chances of critical for either. After all those struggles against the Falcon Knights, Golems, Mages, victory is ours for the taking. The final cutscene includes Byleth and Edelgard killing Rhea. Byleth passes out. Edelgard starts to tear up, but the crest of flames is removed from Byleth's heart and it starts beating. Edelgard takes notice and is relieved. She put everything into this war and it finally paid off. With the professor by her side, nothing seemed impossible. We still have to deal with the Gardens, right? Wait, that's it? But the most important thing, who did I pick to S rank support? I chose Happy. I really like Happy's character and how she's straight up blunt a lot of the time, so I just went with her for the sake of this video. Here's a screenshot if you want it. So I played 40 hours of this game just to get this picture, so you guys should thank me. Those who slither in the dark is dealt with off screen, and that's it. Wow, what a disappointment and a great time. This is the best and the worst route at the same time. This is the only route where you can go against the church. It starts off strong by taking care of the alliance and then killing the kingdom and the church. There was only one pre-rendered cutscene, no cutscene for Dimitri and the Dew, no cutscene for Claude, no epilogue for the Agardens, no cutscene for the reunion. It's a lot of underwhelming stuff here. Not to say that Crimson Flower is awful, it still has good moments, but there's questions that are answered. For example, why aren't Sedith and Flame affected by Ray's death? Is the Sword of the Creator useless now? Does that apply for the hero's relics as well? What is Claude doing after you spare him? I could go on and on about him. This route has the best maps and felt the most original out of the 4 routes. The Tailtean Plains map was pretty good, Final map was pretty good, and the most original. And I say Deirdre is a great map, but all for a rushed route? It left a lot to be desired. I enjoyed it, and it's not the worst story in the world, but not great either. There's a video out there how to fix Crimson Flower, and it doesn't make a hefty change, but it does wonders for the route. So ultimately, it's a fine route, serviceable if you will, but for the Empire and the only route you can go against the church, it leaves a lot to be desired. Would I replay it? Probably not, because the other 3 routes are just way better, especially Blue Lines, but we'll get to that in the next video. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. My next video is on the Blue Lines route. So as always, you guys enjoy yourselves and have a good one.